and my axe.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you a fan favorite Echo Spin to Win Void Knight. As always, I will show you every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now what you're looking at right now is my Echo Spin to Win Void Knight, and the skills we are using is Warpath, of course, Spin to Win. Void Cleave is our movement skill, and at the training dummy, it can do over 500,000 damage. We're using Sigils of Hope, Abyssal Echoes, and Anomaly. So everything is really buffing your spin to win. Now again, I keep saying this over and over again, we have chosen to not put Volatile Reversal in any of the builds. Not because it's not great. Volatile Reversal is great. Just come April 2nd, the highly anticipated Season 2, Volatile Reversal is getting a completely new skill tree. So I'm pulling it out of all of the Sentinel builds until we get the new Volatile Reversal. So this is the skills that we are using. We are manually, or we're automatically triggering Abyssal Echoes every 5 seconds through Spin to Win, which is giving us an 80% multiplier on our Void Cleave. So it does have a purpose inside of the build. And the build is very, very simple. You spin around, Void Cleave for your movement, hit Anomaly when you need to get a boost to your crit, and then you cast Sigils when you need them, but if you're killing enough enemies, they will auto-trigger through kills. And that is pretty much it. You have over a 30% echo chance on your skills, your echoes do big damage, and you just spin around. Let me show you some single targets. Fully empowered Nemesis, this is at 480 corruption. And we got to deal with the fires too. Smoked. Shade of Oribus. Take that. Ah, you're gonna hide in the corner, huh? All right, teleport to the right. Your big damage comes when you actually get the echoes hitting the boss, like that. Done. Come here, you big old ice horse. He's a big target. I'm out of mana. Here we go. Come here, dogs. Come here.
This is a mercy.
Oh, he is done. Ooh. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's break down the skills for our Echo Spin to Win with our main damage dealer, and that is Warpath. And I'll try and point you in the right direction on what skills you want to take first. Now, what you want to do is take the Void tree first. This is going to convert the physical damage into Void. You're going to get some multiplicative damage to enemies that have Time Rot, and you're going to be able to automatically trigger Abyssal Echoes after spinning for 5 seconds, and it's going to be going off all the time. Next thing you want to do is come down here and make it where it has the lowest possible cost, and this makes it where the mana cost is 1.1 seconds, so it is very, very cheap to spin. You're then going to come up here, and you're going to get a boost to your multiplicative damage, and that is doubled with a two-handed weapon. Now, right now, if you look at all my skills, they are all level 20. And obviously, you could boost these to level 22, 24, 26 very easily. So you could also come in here and get a bigger area if you want, and you could take up to 30% movement speed if you have more points. Moving over to Anomaly. Now, what you want to take for Anomaly first is you want to make it an instant cast so you could trigger it when you are spinning. And you want to come over here and make sure the anomaly effects are triggered instantly so you don't have to wait. Those are the first points you want. You're then going to come down and make it where it's cast on you, and you're going to get a big boost to your attack speed and 150% critical strike chance. Very, very good skill. Moving over to Abyssal Echoes. Now, this is the skill that we put in for Volatile Reversal, and even though it doesn't have perfect synergy, it does do a lot of good things. So, what does Abyssal Echoes do for you? It is going to slow enemies. It's going to give you an 80% multiplicative on your Void Cleave, which is huge. When enemies go to slow you, it's going to give you haste instead. It is going to blind enemies. It's going to shred armor, and you want to manually cast this when you need a big hit. You're going to be able to do that with target Abyssal Echoes instead of it just going off around you. And remember that this will be going off every 5 seconds with your Warpath. Moving over to your movement skill, Void Cleave, which again at the training dummy, even with minimal gear, you could do over 500,000 damage. I'm guessing you could trigger over 1 million if you had really synergized gear. Now what you want to do is take these 4 nodes right here. This is going to give you 80% multiplicative after using Warpath, max distance, max damage, max area, and it's going to turn it into a traversal skill. You then want to come down here to the left. It'll be undodgeable. And then you want to get a 200% critical strike multiplier. But actually more important on this node is mana gained on crit. So when you have a big pack of spiders, when you have a big pack of enemies, and you hit them with Void Cleave 1 time, it does refill your mana. Very, very good skill when used effectively. Last but not least, let's talk about Sigils of Hope. Now, Sigils of Hope, first thing you want to do is come over to the left here and get chance to summon on kill, damage, base damage, and convert it to void. You're then going to come to the left, endurance threshold, duration, extra sigil, and then you'll have 2 points remaining. You could put them in endurance threshold, or you can put them in cast speed and heal amount. When I want to manually cast my sigils, I like having the extra cast speed so I can get them up quick. If you don't care about that, you can put the extra points in survivability for endurance. That is the skills. So now let's break down the passives. At time of recording, my Void Knight is level 98, and I will show you where I plan on putting those final 2 points. Now, looking at the base Sentinel tree, we actually have 30 points into this because we needed to get this 30% boost to our attack speed. We're taking strength, resistances, a little bit of vitality, damage from nearby enemies, cooldown reduction for our movement skill, and then I put 5 points into stun avoidance and stun immunity. You don't have to put these 5 points here. You can put it just into straight vitality if you want, but I hate getting stunned, so it's nice having a little bit of stun avoidance and immunity. And then all the way down here, 5 points into attack speed at 30%, which is huge. Moving over to the Void Knight tree, we're taking health and resistance. We are boosting our melee void by 24%. All points in this tree are getting critical strike multiplier at 1%. Strength and health, melee time rot chance, and again, you're going to get a boost for hitting enemies that have time rot on them. Increased void damage. We are taking every single point into echo that we can get. So 10%, 10%, 10%, 30% echo chance. We're taking vitality and health per vitality. And then over here, Void Flux, Time Shift nearby enemies at 20% health. Moving over to Paladin to get our Sigils of Hope. We put 5 into Elemental Resistance and 10 into basically flat health. These don't do a lot for you, but we need our Sigils. Now, my final 4 points are going right here in the Void Tree for World Eater. And this is going to be some Melee Leech and Void Leech. So I have 2 points in it right here, and my final 2 points will go there. Those are the passives. Moving over to last Epoch tools, we're going to break down the blessings, idols, and gear, starting with blessings. Now, the first one you're going to take is critical strike multiplier for a boost to your damage. Here, you can also take void resistance if you're struggling with getting your resistances capped. We have all resistance, armor while channeling, armor percent, and mana. And you can always switch out mana for lightning resistance if you need it. Moving over to idols, we are taking increased Warpath area and increased void melee damage. We're also taking increased echo damage when a skill echoes and increased void melee damage. The other 2 idols I have is increased health and elemental resistance to again try and round out our resistances. Now for this build, technically speaking, there is nothing required. You don't need to go find this item to unlock it. That being said, this build has a lot of legendaries that I do feel are best in slot. But again, you don't have to have all of these. First one is of course Apathy's Maw. First affix you want to get is melee critical strike chance, and then you want crit multiplier. We're using Titan Hearts because it's 15% less damage taken when wielding a 2-handed melee weapon, which you have with level of Warpath. We are using Shattered Chains and Siphon of Anguish, which work perfectly for Void. Awesome synergy. We are using Dark Stride, which gives us 1 extra charge for Void Cleave, melee void damage, but more importantly, increased movement speed per added melee void damage. That is why we can run so fast. We are also using a Code of the Erased This boosts your armor, gives you 1 to Sentinel skills, and armor mitigation also applies the damage over time. It's great. Helmet, level 2 Anomaly, strength, double health. Amulet, crit strike multiplier, crit strike chance, double health. Ring, increased critical strike chance, mana regen, endurance, poison. And glove, critical strike chance, health, double life. That is the gear. So now let's talk leveling tips and tricks. This is not a leveling guide, but kind of get you pointed in the right direction for the campaign. Now for me, it doesn't matter if I'm a Void Knight, Forge Guard, or a Paladin. I leveled the exact same way, and that is through one of my favorite skills in the game, Rive. And what I like about Rive is, one, it's a free skill. It's got an AoE. You can get life and mana back inside of the passive tree. And if you come right up here with your Rive, you get a 15% kill threshold as you traverse the campaign, which just makes things so much easier. And again, this is a free AoE melee skill. On top of that, you can use this with Healing Hands. And Healing Hands has a 100% chance to trigger if you put 4 points in Cleric's Hammer every single time. So every single time you use Rive, you will also be using your Healing Hands. You could make this skill free if you want, and you can come down here and get a big boost to your melee attack through Blade. The third skill I like is Void Cleave. I'm slowly falling in love with it. Obviously, Void Cleave is in this build, and what you want to do is come over here and take these 3 nodes. This is damage, area, distance, damage, and turns it into a traversal skill. And then you want 1 point right here to make sure it can't be dodged. So you would take Rive, Void Cleave, and Healing Hands. You will fly through the campaign. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my Echo Spin to Win Void Knight? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I can do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Of course, only if you think I've earned it. Best way to support is Patreon. And don't forget to join the official Action RPG Discord. We just passed 4,500 members. Just for being a member of my community, we do a game giveaway every 2 weeks. Movie nights, game nights, and a brand new Last Epoch Season 2 coming April 2nd treasure hunt event. Sign up coming to the Discord, so make sure you get in. I'm done. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.